friends. Let's go ahead and invite our chime to sing, and then I'm going to read a sentiment of metta. Metta is loving kindness, one of the four limitless qualities that we try to cultivate in a Buddhist practice. And so let me show you that. You know, I brought a whole bunch of, I keep these sentiments in here, and I brought a whole bunch with me to make some new ones when I was on holiday last week. Didn't even get out of my suitcase. Fascinating. This one just jumped out of the bowl, so that's the one you always have to read when it just jumps out in its own way. This one reads, "May you gaze at the stars. May you gaze at the stars." What a beautiful sentiment to bring to our practice today. It actually fits beautifully with a meditation that I'd like to share with you that is inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh. But before we get into that, I just want to bring everybody onto the same page for our exploration for the month of September. In the Spokane Sangha, we are exploring interconnection, interbeing, how things inter-are. We are all connected here today. My emotional landscapes generate energy that travel with me and leave impressions everywhere I go. I can tap into all sorts of healing and all sorts of confusion. And all of these things are connected to me. We've been spending time this month looking at a mantra, actually holding this idea of interconnection with a mantra that says, "Through the kindness of others, I am here." And that's a wonderful way to think about interconnection. Through the kindness of others, many, many, many people, from the scarf, the shawl that I'm wearing, which was made in Ireland, to this beautiful crown that I'm wearing that was knitted by Yukio sitting next to me. So much kindness just in two garments that I get to wear today. This week we're going to talk about simplicity. That's the theme. Last week we were focused on vipassana, deep looking, but today we're going to, and this week, bring into our consciousness simplicity. And so I'd like to share with you the inspiration of Thich Nhat Hanh, the first Buddhist teacher that I came across. He changed my life, shifted my life completely. And his greatest gift, Thich Nhat Hanh has an extraordinary gift for taking complex notions, intricate ideas, difficult philosophies, and extracting their most simplified essence. He has published hundreds of works, and many of them are simply presented, easily digestible, profoundly relatable, and I recommend everything he's ever written. This past week, I was away. I was in the middle of the United States, and I was visiting family. And I was really challenged to be there. There's a great deal of culture there based on values and beliefs that are incredibly different from my own. And one of the things that I kept having to navigate was a notion of etiquette. And how that came to play was I would be visiting with family members, and they would say things that I didn't agree with. They would say things that I found offensive, hurtful, highly unskillful, ignorant even, and deeply confused. And there was a lot of discomfort as a result, a lot of suffering, if you can imagine. And the etiquette is don't say anything. Just supposed to listen, just supposed to nod and smile and listen. That's the polite thing to do. And to say anything, to express curiosity, to ask for understanding, no matter how it's presented, whether it's presented in a nice voice or with some kind of antagonism, you're simply not supposed to speak. To challenge, to be curious, to seek understanding is to add to the discomfort, and that is rude. For those of you who know me just a little bit, you can imagine that staying silent in the face of oppression, in the face of willful harm, is not something I do well. I was skillful. I was able to stay practiced, but I was in breach of etiquette regularly. And I found this really, really difficult to reconcile. What I didn't do well on my trip is I didn't remove myself enough from the situation to ground, to regroup, to breathe. And so I stayed in these really complex situations where communication is difficult, values and beliefs are difficult. It was difficult to see others as just like me, so there was a lot of othering going on. The wonderful thing, however, was even though I couldn't leave, that is, I had to stay, one of the practices that I was able to bring forward is something from Thich Nhat Hanh. And it is a very simple practice, and it is a game changer. And I call this particular meditation, hello. And what Thich Nhat Hanh instructs is that anytime you have a strong emotion arising, it doesn't matter what the emotion is, or even a thought that is connected to an emotion, doesn't matter if it is joyful and pleasant, or challenging, angry, disappointing, you do the same thing to it. Hello, frustration. I see you. I'm going to take care of you. Hello, joy. I see you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to be with you. Hello, impatience, bewilderment, anger. I know you're here. I'm here, too, with you. This simple acknowledgement of emotion is profound because, one, it requires that we learn to identify what our feelings are. And without judgment and without reservation. Hello, anger. And we're not adding any story like I'm a bad person for being angry. Oh no, here we go, anger again. I have such an anger problem. Hello, frustration. Oh no, look at me with all my expectations. Hello, bewilderment. Yuck, I'm such a terrible practitioner. I mean, we can assign all kinds of stories, but the practice is to drop the story and just identify the arising. Say hello to it, and rather than treat it like something that we have to be rid of, something we have to be ashamed of, something we have to work to resist, we simply allow it to be, and we remind ourselves we are the caretaker of ourselves. We are the companion that we've been seeking. Take that in for a moment. I'm the companion I seek. I'm the caretaker I have been seeking. I'm the healer I need. That's not to say we don't need others. We do. But one of the habit energies that we must mature, I certainly have had to mature over time, is seeking outside of myself for what I am perfectly capable of offering myself. So the practice is, hello, whatever is arising. I'm going to sit with you. I'm going to be with you. And in doing so, I'm fully available to myself. And when we can practice this, we can become fully present to others. This is an aspect of my practice that I engaged, but I was not able to engage it well enough to be as present to others as I wanted to be. So I have some work to do. And would you look at that? I have some work to do. Take a moment and breathe. And allow some space for any arising to make itself known to you clearly. So clearly that you can identify it in a word or two. And see if you can just drop the details surrounding it. The people that stirred it up in you, the situation, the worry you might have assigned to it, the judgment. See if you can drop all of that and just let the arising itself be. Anger, hurt, confusion, desire, temptation, happiness, ease, whatever it is. And let's just breathe together for a few times. Friends, while I was able to be in this challenging environment and practice enough to identify my feelings and sit with them, I wasn't able to take care of them well enough. I wasn't able to practice enough to see beyond my frustration, to see beyond my irritation and agitation, except when I came to Sangha. Every day I was gone and wasn't traveling, I was able to come here and I was able to practice. And I'd like to extend an extraordinary expression of gratitude for your presence here to practice with me. You were my light. You, Sangha, became my anchor. You represented some beauty in a landscape that was at times bleak and swirling with chaos. And I could come to this community and I could practice for an hour, and I truly landed in a space of refuge and relief. And I was able to carry that with me, and for a little longer I could extend that experience and that practice a little bit longer in my day. It is no wonder community is a jewel in the Buddhist practice. You helped me and inspired me to keep going. And when I came home, I was reviewing some old notes, and I stumbled upon one of my favorite Thich Nhat Hanh meditations. And this one is called "The Dandelion Holds My Smile." And you can use anything as your dandelion. And how this meditation works is when you find yourself hooked and in the swirl, baited, really caught in those difficult arisings. And maybe it's been going on for a couple of days. And maybe you feel bitter or sour. And everything you see around you is bitter and sorrow. Remember this meditation. Remember that looking upon a dandelion and seeing just a glimmer, a moment of its beauty. Maybe that moment, that glimmer, that flash of something other than feeling sour can create a crack of possibility for a little smile to emerge. The dandelion holds your smile. For me, last week, the Sangha, you, each of you, held my smile for me. You held my heart for me when I struggled to practice. And when I came into community, I was reminded, you have me. You're holding me. You're holding my smile and my eyes, my wise view, my soft, tender heart. You are nurturing my Buddha nature. I am profoundly grateful for that. The world is a Sangha. And I remembered today reading this meditation that the clouds can hold my smile. When I gaze up at the stars, they hold my smile. Allow your mind a moment to wander and allow an image to emerge. A flower, a pet, a beloved. Whatever is emerging is holding your smile. It's holding the twinkle in your eyes, and it's holding the tenderest parts of your heart. To see them is to remember. To remember is to come home. To come home to yourself is the practice. I dedicate this practice this week to John Burning, artist John, who died last week. For those of you who knew him a little, for those of you who knew him well, hold his smile. He lives in you. Alrighty, friends, let's go ahead and end our practice with a dedication of merit. Wherever you are in the world, a sentiment of loving kindness. Like, really think about this for a moment. Loving kindness is limitless. And a way to tap into the quality of limitlessness is to turn your gaze upward and look at the cosmos. You are looking into expanding infinite space. Limitless. As an act of kindness for yourself, as a way to ground and humble, gaze at the stars. May you remember that they might just be holding your smile, especially on the journey when the landscapes are particularly bleak, dark, heavy. There is always a crack of possibility, a moment, a breath, a blink, to find a little beauty, a little wonder. May you find refuge there for just a moment, and may that moment fold into another moment. And may these growing moments of beauty and peace grow. May they stabilize you and strengthen you no matter the weather. May you find joy in your practice, and may you keep going. Thank you for your beautiful practice, friends, and again, thank you for holding my smile and my heart. We'll see you next time. Namaste.